our rock stars in the studio are going to help you enhance your brain. But we're also going to be talking about subscription models, too. So imagine the idea of subscribing to your pills. We're going to find out a lot more. I'm Ken Rakowski. Listen to Business Rockstars and KFWB News Talk 980. You've heard about all the ways of bringing in money to your company, like subscription models. But generally, you think about magazines and newspapers. But there are other alternatives when it comes to subscriptions. I'm Ken Rakowski. This is Business Rockstars, KFWB News Talk 980. So I have two rock stars in the studio that are looking at a subscription model a little differently. I'm happy to have Dr. Andrew Hill and Chris Thompson joining us. Chris, subscription models generally are applied to magazines, newspapers. You like subscription models, right?
Yeah, I mean, magazines, newspapers, in the tech world, if you really get to know them, we call them subcoms for short.
Subcoms,
so that's when you really study them.
Because you don't have enough time to say the word subscriptions.
Exactly. We're too busy, thinking about too many things. Yeah, so there's really, in the tech world, it's really in two different areas. So you have surprises, which is surprise box. That's kind of what the skeptic calls them, but they're samples on one side. And then on the other side, you have convenience or replenishment that's usually by the pros or the experts. So a couple quick examples on the sample side. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give them cred right here. Is that okay? I should have told them beforehand, negotiate for something. But BarkBox, great one out of New York. Matt Meeker started Meetup.com. Mm-hmm. It's samples for your dog. So all different things, but it's different every single month. And he wants you to buy the full-size items. Birchbox made this famous. Two girls out of HBS, Harvard Business School, started all makeup samples. So the idea is you're going to try something. You don't really know what you like. We'll send you a box every single month to continue to try new things.
But I'm paying for that, right?
You're paying a small, but it's 50, they're range 10, 15, 20, $30 a month. But yeah, you pay.
And if I like what's in there, I upgrade, okay?
They hope that you don't go to Amazon and do it. They hope that you go on their own site. I don't know why you would do that. That's I think one of the breakdowns of the models. If I like this, whatever it is, eyeshadow, I don't know what it is for women or how long it takes them to figure out their regimen. I would think, okay, I've tried it for a couple months. I've locked in my regimen. Now I'm going to go to the absolute cheapest source to buy it. But they hope, and a lot of people go to their own site because they were happy with the guidance they had and the curation that they provided and the ongoing support.
And that's called what kind of? That's a sample.
Yeah, that's the sample and upsells. Part of the equation.
Give me another type of subscription.
The other one's full replenishment. So that's when you're actually doing full-size items.
So is that kind of like Dollar Shaving Club?
Exactly. Okay. That's on the low price end because, convenience, hey, are razor blades that good? How good can you get with private label? So I studied this space when I was an entrepreneur in residence, which is a very trendy title to just mean
hot.
You're
cool.
paid to
It's cool. I like it.
Yeah, you're just paid to figure out what you want to do next or how you're going to monetize someone else's idea or whatever it might be. And when you look into that, it's really about, okay, someone else has figured it out, and razors, I love what they're doing. They have a great viral video. The brand's great. I don't know how good, because Gillette spends so much money on razors. How good can private label be? Because they just private label razors.
But there's a huge difference in cost, too. I mean, and it's not just Dollar Shaving Club. There's other ones that have popped up. Harold's has just popped up, which is a low or a high quality razor for $4 to $6.
That's,
they're all
the guys
rolling
from Warby,
in. That's right. They're all coming in. But then you also have subscription models. I think many of us think about like Netflix subscription.
Yep.
We know Brian Lee from Shoe Dazzle has gone a subscription model also.
That's our ideal investor. If he's listening, I know he listens to your show. You got to come in and finish off our round.
Okay, that's what I guess I need to understand. When you say we, you don't have an MD next to your name, but your partner does, which makes me curious.
Well, he'd be quick, because he's so intellectual, he'd be quick to correct you. That's PhD.
Oh, PhD. It's still a doctor. There you go. Let's go to Dr. Andrew Hill. Doctor, why does a doctor need to be part of a subscription model internet company?
Well, our main our product value proposition is providing you brain fitness, and that's a very complicated space.
It is.
There's a lot of snake oil. There's a lot of conflicting research, even in cognitive training games. Some research says they help the brain, and some says it does not. So when it comes to nutraceuticals and nootropics and other sort of vitamin and supplement-based brain fitness, the space is huge, exploding, and kind of confusing. And in my experience, I've seen lots of people just use themselves as guinea pigs, buying all kinds of random powders and oils and ointments from the internet and trying stuff and reporting back. And I did this myself as well. And started to realize, okay, there are some things out there that are cutting edge that aren't exactly drugs, they aren't exactly supplements. It's this new sort of market space called nootropics. and I wanted to sort of formalize some of the knowledge and provide some curation and some guidance around, what may be both safe and advantageous to explore in this space.
So, Chris, this is your product initially. You're brainstorming, and here's a great product, here's a great idea. Friends and family probably tried this out, it works. You just didn't know what the revenue model was?
Yeah, basically I was taking, I assembled my own blend of ingredients and was taking it myself and was thinking about starting a cognitive fitness supplements company. I have a couple other companies that I work with, and ran into Chris, who was pivoting a triathlete-based product into a brain fitness company.
Wow. So you guys came together at the right time.
Yeah, so we had, and the other guy that we had locked down first. So first I had gotten Christophe Michel, who's one of the world authorities on this class of, niche supplements.
Okay.
There's only a handful of studies that have been done on healthy individuals, not disorders or diseases or things like that, but just healthy individuals. He's authored 3 of the 5. So what was great is, Andrew came to me, he's got the perfect background. He had some time to get involved, liked startups. We brought him in, just put these, for part of that, it's me facilitating the conversation, facilitating the argument, get these guys in a room. They can hash out, argue over weeks and figure out what the best blend is.
I like this. So you two come together, and now what you've done is you've created a nutraceutical company that has a subscription-based model that helps us know more, remember more. Doesn't increase IQ, but it allows us to retain more, right?
Yeah, IQ is a really vague concept largely, and so is intelligence or even attention. But we think about things like sustained energy or sustained focus throughout the day, improved memory, so very specific things. It looks like the ingredients in truBrain are starting to
truBrain, that's the name of the product.
That's the name of the company. That's
so
right.
the company, is it the product also?
It is.
So truBrain. You guys, again, are doing something that obviously there's not a lot of that's what's called cognitive enhancements, right? How many are on the shelves right now, do you think?
Only a handful,
right?
At this point.
Yeah. A lot of companies have not jumped into this, and it's interesting. I wonder why. You don't have to go through FDA approval on this either, right?
Right.
Which makes it a lot easier because generally FDA approval could take you 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, most of the ingredients people use in these kind of blends are GRAS, generally regarded as safe by the FDA. The few that aren't are sort of orphan substances that the FDA is not regulating because there's no potential for abuse.
I like that name, orphan substances.
Yeah.
Just out on the side. So you're being how would we call it? You're the retail guy. You're the guy that gets the consumer and how they buy stuff.
BizDev co-founder.
You are. So Chris, tell me, when you saw this opportunity being in a niche area, you said, let's wrap a subscription model around it, or were you looking at other forms of revenue or ways of generating revenue with the company?
Yeah, it's not the type. So on Andrew's end, he sort of has the story of, I've been, so close to this problem. I've been solving this offline for so many years. A lot of people say those are the best, models, that this happened offline so much that now people are bringing it online and codifying it and just adding the digital aspect to it. My end of the story, if I'm honest, is a lot more analytical. Like, I actually took a look at, and been in this EIR role that I had before, meeting with a lot of VCs. I really liked that model, and it made sense for me personally. I'm just trying to hit a base hit in this startup world and maybe, stretch it out to a double, get thrown out at second, something like that, right? Get the
uniform.
This is new for
you.
Yeah.
Is it? You come
because I was in the corporate
corporate space, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Going to the startup world is a lot different.
Yep.
Right?
But I looked at it and said, because of that, I have packaged goods experience, I have brand building experience, I know how to manage a P&L. Like, those things are good aspects for this type of model. So at least I can bring some comparative advantages in dealing with a physical product and building a brand and those things. Whereas, instead of doing mobile ad tech, where, I'd be a little bit more out of my comfort zone.
But you're looking now at a space that obviously the big names have not really ventured into.
Right.
Okay. You're deciding, hey, we're a startup. We're nimble. We can move quick. Let's do what the big guys can't do. Let's venture into a new space. How's it going so far?
Good. We got really good traction. Early on, it was as simple and it was organic with no money because we're bootstrapping it now. We're putting together a seed round of angel investors now. But before that, it was just about how can we get exposure to the people who already know about this stuff and are early adopters like yourself, people who are into brain hacking and body hacking and singularity and all those themes that we know are going to be here. We haven't understand the brain yet. We haven't even started, but we were able to get Andrew on some podcasts and got sales immediately from all over the world, and a lot of interesting people approaching us who are into the space.
And where you're at right now, you're still at the beginning, right? How long has truBrain been out?
So we really did our alpha launch, I guess, at the beginning of May, late April, early May.
You're real new.
Oh, yeah. And
okay.
we wanted to get, not friends and family involved. We want to let the merits of the model stand on its own.
That's kind of an aggressive approach. Generally everyone goes after friends and family.
I know.
That's the platform we've all understood because they're the ones that trust you the most. They're the ones that give you that capital to go to the next level. You guys got involved in an incubator, actually one we like a lot, Start Engine.
Yep.
Howard and Paul, so Kessler and Marks.
Yep.
And great companies come out of that. Generally, they're high-tech companies that are involved inside that incubator. You guys are somewhat of an anomaly there, right?
Well, so all these subscription commerce companies are high-tech. I think of them, they're just lower, on the scale of tech 1 to 10, where are they? Maybe they're a 3 or a 4, but we're trying to, we're a neurotech, and that's what we aim to be. Exactly.
I like that, neurotech.
But Andrew's got the, that's
Andrew,
that's
neurotech
real tech,
sounds
right?
cool.
That's
Sure, we're of course on an internet-based subscription model, but in terms of tech, I'm actually doing brain research on the effects of our blend on the brain.
So what I want to do is this, guys. I want you to talk to me about startup mode, especially, Chris, you coming from a structure that's always there ready for you to do anything because it's already established being corporate America.
Yep.
Going to a startup world, what's different? Okay? And then what I'd like to know from you, Andrew, is you're a doctor. You're somebody who generally is practicing at a university teaching. You're in a startup also. What are the ups and downs, okay? And what can you expect as you move forward? I want to know more about that. So we're going to dive more into what's going on in the startup space, what to expect, the ups and downs, the perils, and the wins. Ken Rakowski, listen to Business Rockstars, KFWB News Talk. What to expect when you're in startup mode, and how do you celebrate success? Ken Rakowski, Business Rockstars, KFWB News Talk 980. In the studio, joining me is Chris Thompson and his partner, Dr. Andrew Hill, Ph.D. Got to throw that at the end, make sure we understand. You guys are in startup mode. Okay, startup mode generally means ramen noodle soup. Means no late nights, means a lot of networking, means thinking outside the box. Have I missed anything else?
Startup mode. A lot more than we can handle.
But what's that mean, Chris?
Just, generally overstretched. But, you mentioned, corporate America versus startup. Who
were you with? What company were you?
Unilever.
Okay, give me some products that Unilever has.
Hellman's Best Foods mayonnaise. Best Foods on the West Coast, Hellman's on the East.
And that's
huge business.
It's everywhere, right? I can walk in every 7-Eleven. Any
Absolutely
store probably has mayonnaise.
99% of all commodities volume distribution.
And that was a product that you worked with.
Yep.
So you saw how it went through the whole supply chain to get to those stores.
Yep. That and Suave for Men shampoo.
Another everywhere, right?
Yep.
So as you look at how you got that product from point A to point B to the consumer, are you applying some of those models to what you're doing with your startup?
Well, it's funny. Certainly a lot of the learnings, like running a P&L and building a brand and a lot of those things, specifically on the retail and the distribution. It's funny because a lot of people approach us and say, oh, well, you're looking to get that into Walgreens, or I know a guy who knows a guy that maybe can get us into GNC or Vitamin Shop. The thing about knowing so much about retail is I don't like it.
It's broken, right?
It's for the big. It's a skewed game. It's for the big players. Mm-hmm. So you try to get into retail and say, oh, I can get it in. I know this guy, but you have to pay slotting fees usually of $1 million, $2 million, and you have to support these things. So the first thing they'll come to you and say, oh, you want to get in retail? Great. How are you going to spend your marketing dollars in my store to bring people into the store or buy more, dollars out of that category, et cetera?
But don't you think with Amazon exploding the way they are, and they continue to do that, they have threatened the traditional retail market so much that retailers are maybe thinking differently, trying new products that can't afford a slotting fee?
Yeah, no, I think that if you look at still, 99+% of the, revenue still in major retail. But they are looking at models, partnering. Some of the manufacturers are looking at partnering with Walmart to do something online. There's Alice.com, which is, going around that. Of course, Amazon, they're going to.
We've had John Mackey on the show. John works with local stores. Like if you want to do something, let's say at the Whole Foods in Venice, right?
Yep.
Off of Lincoln, you could get something just at that Whole Foods in Venice where it's not going to be at the other Whole Foods. So you can do some local stuff. And that's what keeps it
interesting, right, for local consumers. So they try to be a little bit decentralized in their decision making so they can actually move fast. Mm-hmm. But at times it's mostly okay, the category buyer wants to choose something and pilot it.
But you're a startup.
Right.
Why would Whole Foods want to talk to a startup?
Exactly. They don't. So what's your sales until you get big enough?
Or are you saying
no, because you have to. Well, they don't want to take a risk.
Okay.
They want to have that novel product and something that's before someone else, but only at a certain risk level because they don't want to be taking a risk on somebody. Individual job risk, right? They could get fired. Oh, they get fired because, why'd you take a risk on that? So there's minimal incentive for them.
So then as you watch what's happening, Andrew, because you're in a very, very new category, which, by the way, other companies have failed at.
Sure.
They have. And they failed because there really isn't clinical proven, let's say, just reports saying, yes, I am smarter, I do retain more, I do remember, right? How do you validate, being in a startup mode, that this is a great company, one, to invest into, and two, I should take the product?
Yeah, you're right. The brain space is pretty vague in some ways. We don't really understand, even today, in 2013, what aspects of the brain are doing. I'm an EEG scientist. Even EEG scientists aren't 100% sure what brain waves are. So it's a pretty vague, space, and then we have cognitive training, cognitive testing.
It's kind of like working with a blind gardener.
Right.
Right? I mean, you don't, what you're telling me is you're a pro, and you don't really even know what the outcome is going to be.
Right, and so that's why we really focus on doing research and testing, right? And of course, this is the gold standard for, academia is published research, and we developed the ingredients of our blend using all ingredients that have some research basis historically. And then to differentiate ourselves and to push the envelope a little bit, we decided to actually do research on humans, on our blend's effects on the brain.
And you guys, you mean? You guys are
yeah,
doing it, right?
Exactly. I mean,
the interns are the
interns.
We have
I actually think
interns.
your mother is a tester of the product,
She
right?
is, yeah. Well, for years, I've been sort of giving my friends, or writing down a list of what I would recommend for cognitive enhancers, the same list of 7 or 10 ingredients. And a few years ago, I made the list for my mom and started sending her the ingredients that are in our product. And now she calls me every few months. Okay, I'm out. Send more. It's Mother's Day.
Because
it's my birthday.
Remembers.
Because she remembers. That's right. That's right.
And now going in the whole subscription model, let's take your idea of the cognitive enhancers, your knowledge of retail. You're going to break the model. And the model is, first, how do I find the product? Because generally I would go to a retail store. I can't find truBrain in a retail store right now. So how do I find out about a product? Right?
Yep.
There's your first milestone you have to get over.
Right.
As a startup, how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, early acquisition, right now we're in mostly, we're bootstrap, pre-seed. So a lot of it's organic. So what can we do with our team and earn it? Which means things like, Andrew going on the podcast. I always say in these pitches, like, podcast equals sales. Mm-hmm. So, on the whiteboard, we say, okay, get more podcasts. That's the easy way to...
Visibility equals sales is what you're saying.
Exactly, yeah.
But you have to be convincing, and then you have to make it so price-wise, because we haven't talked about price.
Right.
How much does a product like yours cost?
Well, it starts at $125 a month. That's for the 1 month. And then, of course, some volume discounts down to $80.
Per person, $125. How did you come up with that number?
Well, we had to, obviously build in the margin. It's not cheap, the raw materials. Like we going for the most premium ingredients we have. I mean, we have the set of ingredients. Okay, so then we decide on that, and then it's okay. Well, they have to be the max, premium quality because we want this to be, we want to have top efficacy. It has to work.
Can somebody actually feel a difference after taking it?
They usually can. Some of the ingredients take a few days to sort of come on, quote unquote, but they have a bit of a reverse tolerance. So the longer you take it, the better it works. It does take about a week, 3 to 5 days for most people to report they're experiencing effects on truBrain. But they also notice sort of when they don't take it that they, have lost that or don't have that edge, right?
That edge.
So
okay, so Andrew and Chris, what we like to do on the show is we create a product every week. So throughout the week, we name a product, we get a tagline for a product, and then we find a celebrity who would be the person that would endorse the product. Okay, so I'm wondering who would be the perfect celebrity that would be the one to endorse your product? Who would be the front face?
Well, Bradley Cooper's a Georgetown guy.
Okay, so Bradley Cooper from the movie
only
Limitless.
because Limitless, yeah. Just because that's what we're trying to come up with the everyday
you
safe.
You think he would be the right one, or people are going to start thinking about Silver Lining Playbook automatically, right?
That's a good point.
I'm wondering, is Bradley Cooper the right one, or is there somebody else?
I don't know. I keep pushing for us to make a phone call to Gary Busey because
why would Gary Busey be the one you would want?
Well, as a fellow motorcyclist, I have some respect for him, but he also has had some head injuries, and
is that what happened?
He has had some head injuries,
okay.
And some of the ingredients in our truBrain product are remediation or neuroprotective.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Bradley Cooper on this one. I'm going to have
over Busey, really?
I have stories of Busey I could tell you about. As you move forward, guys, you're raising money. Where does your company go a year from now? Let's just say you do raise the capital you need.
Yep.
What do you do?
Well, we're trying to, I track everything versus these other guys we talked about. BarkBox, Dollar Shave Club, Man Packs, all those guys. So we just try to stay ahead of them every step along the way. Mm-hmm. Where were they in sales when they were at our stage with no money? Where were they when they raised $200K? And then the next round, you're always setting up the next round. So you raise your seed round. The next thing you're worrying about is, okay, let's make a ton of progress, then hit the road again and try to raise capital from a top VC firm for Series A. And then after that, it's then making some key hires and, growing the business, scaling up, and BC, et
So
cetera.
again, you raise your money a year from now. What does the company look like?
Well, I think we'll move into, our vision is to not just have this one product set. So Andrew talked about, people with concussions, et cetera, Busey. There's aging baby boomers and that whole crowd that are fighting cognitive decline. We want to develop a stack for them. And then we also wanted to...
When you say a stack, explain what that means.
A set of, like a blend, like that we've...
So it's more customized towards them.
Right.
Exactly. And you're right on custom. That's the end goal, is for you to have some sort of game that you can come to our site, select your goals or needs, and we figure out and learn more about you, use that data to customize our blend. And
that's where it's all going to go, right?
Exactly.
And of course, a place Chris mentioned where we're different than a lot of other companies is we're actually focused on a research agenda. So a year from now, assuming funding's, been nice and flowing, we'll have active research going on, we'll have a small lab running, we'll have studies running every day. And
Dr. Andrew Hill, where do I go to find out more about the product?
You can go to trubrain.com, trubrain.com.
trubrain.com, and as I go to truBrain, you'll ask some questions regarding me, know me a little better, eventually give me something more customizable, right?
Exactly.